Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Joke Rogers. Today, we're in the northeast region, but we're starting with our top stories of the day. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has visited Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to commiserate with the government and people of the state over Tuesday's attack on Kwara community in Kayama local government area. Speaking at the government house in Ilorin, the state capital, the Vice President said the tragic killing in the community shocked Nigerians because the victims were peaceful people dedicated to building their livelihoods and practicing their religion in a peaceful and harmonious manner that the injunctions of Islam instructed. Senator Shettima commiserated with the government and people of Kwara State and the people of Kayama in particular over the tragic loss of lives and gives assurances of the federal governments to ensure peace and harmony. He said the president had instructed the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Zubaida Umar, to mobilize all resources in partnership with the State Emergency Management Agency to provide support to distressed communities. In his response, Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak appreciated the Vice President for the visit over the sad incident. He also commended the swift response of the federal government for the deployment of military and NEMA to provide succor to victims of the attack. Well, the Northeast Development Commission has inaugurated several projects in Bauchi State, including a mega school, a medical facility, as well as the NEDC state office, amid ongoing construction of other education and health facilities across the state. Governor Bala Mohammed describes the projects embarked upon by the commission as impactful while promising continued support and partnership. He stated this while receiving the Minister of State for Regional Development, Mr. Uba Amadu, who led members of the commission and other stakeholders on a project commissioning tour across the state, as well as the handover of some completed projects to the state government. Our correspondent, Hajar Aliyu, reports.
A high-level delegation led by the Minister of State for Regional Development, Mr. Uba Amadu, along with the management and board of the Northeast Development Commission and federal lawmakers, are in Bauchi State for a 3-day official visit. The delegation first paid a courtesy visit to Governor Bala Mohammed, where the minister explained that his ministry is responsible for monitoring and supervising the activities of the NEDC, with part of its mandate including the unveiling of newly completed projects.
These projects cut across several sectors, from education, health, infrastructure, and many other areas, including commerce, like markets, and some other places of benefit.
In his response, Governor Mohammed expressed satisfaction with the interventions of the Commission in Bauchi State.
Across Bauchi State and indeed the wider Northeast, the impact of your work as a Commission is visible and meaningful, touching lives in the areas of education, health, humanitarian support and disaster management.
The following day, the delegation proceeds with the commissioning exercise, starting with the newly constructed NEDC State Office. The Deputy Governor unveils the project and conducts an inspection tour of the facility.
Of Bauchi State. Assalamu alaikum.
Another major project commissioned was the NEDC Mega School in Dungal, Bauchi, comprising 4 blocks of classrooms, 4 units of staff quarters, an administrative block, and other supporting facilities.
Today we come back here to commission this wonderful building, a mega school constructed.
The school was formally commissioned and handed over to the Bauchi State government. at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Teaching Hospital, a newly constructed and fully equipped triage emergency medical center built by the Commission was also unveiled. During an inspection of the ongoing ophthalmology complex, the managing director of the NEDC addresses concerns over project variations raised by the consultant, which have contributed to delays in completion.
And if there any bill you have which you didn't pay, can bring you, we can pay while we look at the variation. Otherwise, no variation, you can take another 2-3 months to work in parallel because of the nature of the structure.
Other projects unveiled include a fire service station at Albugubi campus, the newly rehabilitated Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa tomb, and an inspection of the ongoing construction at the government secondary school, Bauchi.
The Taraba State Governor Abu Kefas has launched the Taraba Seeds Production Limited, a state-owned outfit which is aimed at boosting food security in the state and the country. Governor Kefas, while launching the event in the facility in Lao local government area, says the initiative would provide farmers with high-quality certified and climate-resilient seeds, strengthening the national agriculture value chain. He also announced plans to construct the road leading to Lao to open up the area for economic growth and improved access.
This is the beginning, and I know that with what we've seen in your country, you will do more for us here.
If Gombe is ready, let's
take it. So we want to see that this demonstration is not only limited to just demonstration, that we have to expand and expand, and then make use of the local content. I watch all the videos. I saw that you've integrated yourself into the community, and you're working with the community people. The people of Taraba State, the people of law, they are law-abiding, they are very welcoming, they are very friendly. All they need is to be involved in whatever is happening. And I think with the local government, chairman and everybody here, the stakeholders, they've assured us that they will protect this initiative and they'll make sure that it comes to light. On this note, today with this planting exercise, we have declared this open to the glory of God.
Away from agriculture to security matters, the Nigerian army says it will sustain the onslaught against insecurity in Taraba State until all hibernating criminals are flushed out and law-abiding citizens made to enjoy peaceful atmosphere. At a handing over and taking over ceremony of the leadership at the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army, Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke, the army vows to maintain zero tolerance to the breach of peace.
Brigadier General Chukwuemeka Kaliro signs the necessary documents as he officially takes over the reins of the 6th Brigade Nigeria Army Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke. He is taking over from outgoing Brigade Commander Kingsley Uwa, who served for 2 years in Taraba, ensuring the return of peace to troubled communities through their interagency intelligence sharing. Looking back on the last 2 years, he is confident that the army is not losing sight in fighting insurgency and banditry to a standstill.
Formed up for your final address. May I have a permission to stand up at this, sir?
Zero tolerance for banditry, zero tolerance for kidnapping, zero tolerance for any form of criminality. That was my words for him. I'm leaving them in safe hands. A focused leader is taking over from me. So I'm not afraid that the brigade will do well, better under him. He has everything with him. The advice, the wisdom, the guidance he has with him. And I know who he is. I know he will not disappoint.
Meanwhile, the new commander praised his predecessor for laying a solid foundation for him to continue the fight against crime.
First, we are thankful for the work that my predecessor has done. It will just be to pick up from what is on ground and ensure that there is no hiding place for anybody that wants to make life uncomfortable for the peace-loving citizens of Taraba State. We are going to ensure that we root them out completely and maintain Taraba as peaceful as it is now.
It was a moment of reflection for the outgoing commander as officers, wives of serving military personnel and children of fallen heroes bid him farewell, prayed for him and asked that he continue in same trajectory in his new assigned responsibility.
Elsewhere, the federal government, under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, has handed over food items to vulnerable persons in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, as part of its food security program. The Humanitarian Affairs Minister, Bernard Doro, while making the symbolic presentation, said the intervention is also to close the gap created as a result of the shrinking of international donors.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Bernard Doro's first port of call in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, is shelters inhabited by internally displaced families, where he donated nutritional food items. Later, the minister, alongside the Deputy Governor of Borno State, Umar Kadafur, among other officials, converged at Government House for the distribution of food items to other vulnerable individuals. The aim is to bring succor to vulnerable communities that may be facing food scarcity resulting from conflicts, poor harvest, flood, or other natural disasters.
Today's intervention is a decisive step. There is not only emergency relief, it is a deliberate, coordinated effort to stabilize nutrition, protect lives, and restore health. Access to adequate and nutritious food is a fundamental human right. And this program affirms our commitment to humanitarian assistance and poverty reduction. This presidential intervention covers the 10 most humanitarian affected states in northern Nigeria.
The food and nutrition items displayed today are intended to immediate relief, restore dignity, and reaffirm the employment commitment to leaving no one behind.
The Deputy Governor thanks the federal government for the gesture on behalf of the state, noting that it will bring succor, especially to people from displaced communities, to curb economic hardship.
I wish to express our sincere appreciation to His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his unwavering commitment to the welfare of our people. This initiative reflects the federal government's dedication to safeguarding food security, combating malnutrition, and alleviating the suffering of displaced persons, vulnerable families, and communities recovering from the impact of conflict and economic hardship.
The food distribution targets vulnerable individuals across 10 states of the Federation.
The Gombe State government, in collaboration with the Gombe State Police Command and Institute of Conflict Management and Negotiation Analysts, has organized a 2-day training for 114 ward councillors, 16 secretaries to traditional rulers, and divisional security officers on non-kinetic security management approaches in prevention and resolution of conflicts in the state. The Police Public Relations Officer of Kano State, that's DSP Abdullahi Kiyawa, being one of the resource persons at the symposium, shares Kano State's tragic experience of the killing of 7 members of one family in broad daylight, the intelligence-led capture of the suspects, and lessons learned that can benefit Gombe State.
Recent spate of attacks on communities and soft targets by bandits and other criminal syndicates across the country has resulted in the killings of men, women, children and the elderly, with northern parts of Nigeria recording the highest number of fatalities. The deadliest of these attacks occurred earlier this week in Kwara State, where at least 75 people were killed. Development experts are calling for grassroots strategies and the whole of society approaches to synergize with security operatives towards averting such attacks, especially in hard-to-reach areas. The Gombe State Ministry for Local Government, in partnership with the Institute of Conflict Management and Negotiation and the State Police Command, organize a 2-day training for councillors in the 114 wards of the state. 16 local government secretariats and divisional security officers are the grassroots as part of its proactive steps to find local solutions.
Looking at the present situation of security problems in the country, those at the grassroots level who are immediately the responsive agents to factors of insecurity are usually the ward councillors and the traditional institutions such as the ward head and village heads. So if they come together and achieve what we are trying to impart them, then much of the insecurity is reduced. You find that 4, 5, 6. It is hardly going to spread to other areas.
And so basically the councillors are the target audiences because they are the first respondents to crises and issues of insecurities in their respective wards and communities. And so we have to start with them in order to give them the right information, equip them with the right insight for them to know how they will be able to treat issues of conflict, issues of insecurity that can escalate into major crises in their communities.
One of the resource persons at the training, the public relations officer of the Condolence State Police Command, narrates lessons learned from the recent killings in the state and what Gombe State can learn from that tragic experience.
What we adopted is not something new. It's an instruction, directives and guidance of the Inspector General of Police that all commands should embark on robust intelligence gathering. When that incident happened in Chiranchidore, a very sad one, leading to the death of 7 in a day, daylight, is not an easy one. Everybody in the society has a role to play as far as ensuring safety and security. The issue of security is not only the responsibility of the police or of the security agencies, but everybody has his own role to play in order to ensure a more safer and serene society.
Despite rescuing kidnapped victims, smashing criminal syndicates, foiling robbery and kidnap attempts in January 2026, the Gombe State Police Command says this handshake with grassroots councillors will add extra layers to its existing security architecture.
We have been recording a series of achievements, some of which I know members of the public are fully aware of them, which include rescue of 2 kidnapped victims from Lombo and Rahama incident that happened, Rahama village incident area of Akko district, Akko local government area of Gombe State. So, and we have recovered sophisticated weapons, which includes 2 AK-47 rifles, 68 rounds of live ammunition, and 4 operational motorcycles of the bandits. These are some of the achievements which we have succeeded due to the collaboration between the police and members of the public.
The councillors see the seminar as a valuable learning curve for creating safer communities.
What I've learned is that whenever a dispute has happened or misunderstanding within my community, I alone, I cannot handle it. I need to engage some other people, like security agencies, like leaders' engagement, so that we can sit together and deliberate with such kind of problem that happened, so that we can bring a solution.
The Institute for Conflict Management promises to continue to partner with gateway border states, such as Gombe State, to deepen security training and create synergy between local leaders and security personnel for a bottom-up, non-kinetic approach that will hopefully turn back the tide of recurrent attacks on unsuspecting communities.
And finally, to this heartwarming story, Gambo Lawan, a teacher with Yerimaram Junior Secondary School in Potiskum local government area of Yobe State, has emerged as the best teacher in the Northeast at the 2026 Teachers Award. Mrs. Lawan beat her counterparts in the northeast to win 25 million naira at an event attended by the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausan, among other dignitaries. The executive chairman of the Yobe State Universal Basic Education Board, while commending the awardee at a reception for making Yobe State proud, pledged to support her studies if she so wishes to study further at the university. This is a glimpse of the 2026 Federal Ministry of Education's National Teachers Award ceremony held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, where the best teachers across the Northeast region were recognized and awarded. Back home, the Yobe State government is honoring its employee, Mrs. Gambo Lawan, who emerged as the best teacher in the Northeast, winning 25 million naira. Officials explained the selection process.
We send the letters to all LGS to sit and with NUT, SBMC, education secretaries to select the best teachers of their LGES. After selecting, then we now ask the zonal officers to coordinate and then select the best teacher from each zone.
Yobe State is represented by Malama Gambo Lawan from Government Day Junior Secondary School, Yerimaram, Potiskum Local Government, with the innovation of solar cooker. On Monday, 25th, self-introduction to the nominees, working experiences, qualification, TRCN is must in that process.
The executive chairman, Yobe State Universal Basic Education Board, Umaru Hassan Babayo, applauds her for writing the name of Yobe State with bold ink as one of the emerging states in Western education. In addition to her prize at the national level, the awardee also gets a tertiary scholarship in recognition of her outstanding performance.
Very elated, and we're actually very happy to have one of our own, Ajia Gambolawan, to go and make us proud in the midst of other competitors. So on this note, we actually celebrate and recognize the lady and recognize the fact that she's actually one of us and she's also doing good for everyone. We want to, as a board, to also recognize her in our way. Let's also not forget that she came home with a lot of goodies as a award. So, but on our own part, we are also going to encourage her, and maybe even others that may come later, that if she is actually interested in pursuing, I understand she has a degree, if she's actually interested in pursuing and improving her academic career, we want to assure her that we are going to sponsor her.
She pledges to work hard to impact more knowledge into her students.
I'm so proud of Yobe State for sending me to be there, and I also participated very well, so I'm so glad.
This award is coming few months after 3 young Yobe students, Nafisa Abdullahi, Rukaya Muhammad Fema and Hadiza Kashim Kali, won the 2025 Teen Eagle Global Finals in London that included spelling bee, writing challenges and knowledge quizzes. That's Newsroom series. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.